Going on? Today we are going to show you how to upgrade your woodworking projects with some basic magnet work. So you're going to need some kind of drill or drill press. I think because of the shape of this project, I am just going to try to clamp it down to my workbench and take the drill freehand. It really doesn't matter. You don't have to be too perfect with the magnet work as long as things don't end up rubbing too badly, because we're going to use this epoxy to really fasten and secure everything. Here's what you're going to need. First, drill bits. I would recommend these Forstner bits. They will leave you with a nice, even, flat, clean-edged hole. Really easy to just drop a magnet into, and you want to pair the size magnet you have with your drill bit. We're going to be adhering them in, so the fit doesn't have to be perfect. As long as you can physically fit the magnet into the hole, it can be a little loose because we're going to use some resin. So here's a different drill bit you can use. This is just a brad point bit. Just showing you can get away with a number of different bits. You just got to choose the appropriate size magnet. So here are a bunch of magnets that I got in a mix pack from Amazon. I really got them just to fiddle around with all the different sizes. You could buy one specific size once you get this down to a science, if you will. You know what drill bit you like to use for magnet work. Just order a bunch of that size magnet. These are rare earth magnets. They're a little stronger than that magnetic strip kind of stuff that you see around. They come in all different shapes and sizes. All right. In addition to your magnet, you are going to need some kind of screw. This is the part that most people don't really think about, but it'll save you money, and it's just a lot easier. You don't need to use magnets every time you want that magnetic catch. Really, you need one magnet and then something for that magnet to grab onto. You can use two magnets, to bind to each other, but there's no need. It's going to be a stronger connection than necessary, and you got to make sure you orient the magnets properly so the positive negatives attract and don't repel. Here's what I use to secure the magnets in whatever holes you drill. 2-part epoxy. I really like this stuff from Gorilla brand because it's in 2 chambers, and then as you push the plunger, it mixes them, or it dispenses them both, and then you can mix it. Super easy to use. I end up using less resin at a time that way. It's really easy to use for little small jobs like this where you don't need a lot of resin. You can use CA glue, or super glue rather, whatever you want to call it. But it's more of a risk for the magnet popping out of that hole over time. This stuff seems really permanent. We've done both. We've done the gel CA glue before. It doesn't seem to bind as well or as consistently as the epoxy. Lastly, you're going to need a project in which to put magnets. So we got these old toy cars we made. I actually made them years ago. They were one of my first woodworking batch builds. We've sold a number of them at craft fairs. I made way too many, and yeah, they've just been hanging around. So I'm going to put some magnets in and make them kind of attachable to one another. I remember when I was a kid, I had these little trains and little cars that had magnets in the front and back, and it was really cool to make a little train of them, drive them around. So that's what I'm going to do to repurpose these. Not repurpose, just upgrade them. And then, all right. If you want, you can go ahead and countersink that. It's not really sticking out all that much, and it's not sharp, so I'm cool with it. So I did actually take my sanding block here, and after I put this screw in, I just made sure to take this little bit down so that it wouldn't block the screw from making contact with the magnet on the car in front. Okay, so I have about a 5/8 inch drill bit here, and it's got a nice brad point on it, and I have a magnet that is the same size from my kit. Clean that up a little bit. Don't want to drill too deep because we want this to be able to make contact with the screw. I have another couple cars here that I screwed up on earlier. I used too small of a magnet, so I'm going to make this hole bigger. little deeper. There we go. Last one here. Widen this. Cool. Let's glue some magnets in. So we're going to use this epoxy from Gorilla. It's a 2-part epoxy. They're in 2 separate chambers. You press the plunger and it comes out and you mix it up. Pretty easy to use. You don't need much at all. Whoop. I like to pull the plunger back a little bit to stop it from slowly leaking out. Save this little cap that comes with it if you can. Take a toothpick or a craft stick or something. Mix this up until it looks silvery. That's looking good. So you get about 5 minutes to work with this stuff, hence the name 5-minute epoxy. So let's get a good glob in here. I like to spin the whatever I'm using to apply it. That's good right there. Just to there we go. So drop that right in there. If you drilled your hole deep, don't push it too deep, just let it sit right on the surface. There we go. Put that aside to dry. Let's do the other ones. I'm a little shaky because I haven't had breakfast yet. There you go, get a good drop in there. That looks good. Let's do one more. Okay, that'll be enough. One more. Boom, in. Okay, there we go. Let's let them dry and then see how they work. As you can see, they work. One thing I had to change real quick was I had to pull out these screws and put in a much shorter one. This one's actually meant for it's a machine screw. It's meant for like metal on metal, but it worked fine. It went in the same hole I already pre-drilled. It's just shorter. The reason is the length of these screws when I went in through the front was actually interfering with the axle here. So one of these cars I actually even did a little damage to, trying to remedy that situation. But no big deal. They're all still functional. There's a satisfying click when they make contact. Cool. That's all we got for this time. Those of you who have subscribed already, thank you very much for the support. If you like this video and you want to help us grow, consider tossing us a like. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you want to see more stuff like this, go ahead and give us a subscribe. All right. Peace.